Okay, let's see our physics lecture. So for our objective or our main purpose today is distinguish fluids from solids. And then when mass is uniformly distributed relative density to mass and volume, apply the relationship between hydrostatic pressure, force, and surface area over which that flows. Okay, this one is the definition of a fluid. Yeah. So fluid is a substance that can flow, like water or air, and conform to a container. Yeah. This occurs because fluids cannot sustain a shearing force or tangential to the fluid surface. They can, however, apply a force perpendicular to the fluid surface. And some materials take a long time to conform to a container, but are still fluids. Yeah. Okay. Okay, the first we need to know the density. Yeah, density is rho. This one is defined as total mass divided to volume. Yeah. We can say this one is rho. Rho is the mass density. So the formula is mass divided to volume, or delta M divided to delta V. In the theory of density, at point is limit for a infinitesimal volume, but we assume a fluid sample is large relative to atomic dimensions and has uniform density. So rho is equal to mass divided volume. Yeah. Then mass density is a scalar quantity. The units of density is kilograms mass kilograms meter square, kilograms meter cubic. Yeah, this one is the units for density. Yeah. And then definition of pressure. Yeah. So pressure is force divided area. Force divided area. If we have a solid object, something like this. So this one is the area of the solids. P equals area. And apply force over here. That means the pressure. We can define pressure as force divided to area. Okay, force in Newton, and then area in meter square. Yeah. So the units for pressure is Pascal. 1 Newton per meter square is defined as 1 Pascal. 1 K. This one is the unit for pressure. Actually, we can measure the pressure with the sensor. Yes, the pressure with sensor we can measure, for example, the pressure of air and then the pressure of water. And okay, sensor for fluid pressure measurement like this. Yeah. This one consists of spring, then for air, and we can measure what the pressure. One is sensor for fluid pressure. Yeah. Okay, so the scalar properties of pressure, we find by experiment that for a fluid at rest, pressure has the same value at a point regardless of sensor orientation. Therefore, static pressure is scalar, even though force is not a scalar quantities. Yeah. We know that force is vector, and then the area is also vector. And pressure here, pressure is a scalar quantities. As I mentioned before that the units for pressure is Pascal. It means 1 PA equal to 1 Newton per meter square. And another units for pressure, this one is atmosphere, ATM. And then Torr, yeah. This one is 1 millimeter Hg. Hg is for mercury. Sometimes we use psi, pounds per square inch. Okay. And then this one is the conversion number. Yeah. 1 ATM is equal to 1.01 times 10 power 5 Pascal. Okay. Usually we use Pascal in SI units. Okay. International standard units. So usually you use this one. Okay. And then after we know the density and pressure, we will focus to uh, hydrostatic pressure. Yeah. It means that fluid at rest, we need to apply the relationship between hydrostatic pressure, fluid density, and the height above or below a reference level. Yeah. And then distinguish between total pressure or absolute pressure and gauge pressure. Okay, this one is topic about hydrostatic or static fluids. Okay, this one is the definition of hydrostatic pressure. Hydrostatic pressure caused by fluid at rest. We see here that there is no motion for the fluid, yeah, and we can calculate by using this formula. Basically, using this formula. So pressure is weight divided to area, yeah. Weight divided to area. So if we want to calculate what is the pressure, for example, in this point, can use the weight is mass times gravity, mg. Mass times gravity as the force. By simplification, we can use P is equal to weight divided by area. Weight is mass times gravity, and then A is the area. And in the beginning chapter, we know that mass is rho times volume, right? This mass is the density and times the volume. So we can substitute here rho Pg divided by weight. And we know that volume is A times H. A is the area, and then H is the height level, of fluids. And we can substitute here rho A Hg divided by A. So we can eliminate the area, and then we get the formula for pressure is rho GH. Okay. Rho GH or rho G. Sometimes you use Y. It's okay. It means that the head level, yes, the head level from the reference point. Yeah, you can use rho GH or rho GY. It's okay. And then the total pressure you can see at P0 plus rho GH. Reference, yeah. For example, 180 180 atm is the reference pressure. Okay, any questions about this? So the hydrostatic pressure, a function of depth, the pressure at a point in fluid in static equilibrium depends on the depth of the point, but not on any horizontal dimensions of the fluid or its container. Yeah. Okay, it means that if we can calculate uh, P here, uh, yeah, for example, we have uh, P0 and then the depth of H. Okay, so we can calculate the total is P0 plus rho GH. Okay. Okay, it means that the pressure at depth H. Yeah. Okay, we know that P here, P is we call the total pressure. The total pressure, this one is the absolute pressure. But P0, yeah, this one is the pressure due to the atmosphere. Yeah, this one is the pressure. Due to the atmosphere. And then the difference of P and P0 or rho GH, this one is the gauge pressure. This one is the gauge pressure or hydrostatic pressure. Okay. Okay. Any questions about the pressure? So we know that hydrostatic pressure, this one is a function of depth. Yeah. H is the depth of fluids. You know, the water, for example, or another fluid. Yeah. Okay. In this case, the difference between absolute pressure and atmospheric pressure, we call is called the gauge pressure. Yeah, because we use a gauge to measure this pressure difference. And then the equation can be turned around to calculate the atmospheric pressure at given height above ground. Yeah. Okay, if we want to calculate the pressure height above the ground, okay, this one is will be negative. So P0 minus rho air times G times D. Yes. It means that more higher the pressure will be higher, the pressure will be lower. Okay, and then by this case, yeah, the figure show 4 containers of olive oil, rank them according to the pressure at depth H greatest first. It means that in the same depth, yeah, so the pressure will be the same. All the pressure will be the same. All matters is the distance h from the surface to location of interest, and h is the same in all case. Okay, so the pressure here, for example, pressure at point at figure A, yeah, pressure here, PA, PB, PC, and PD, yeah. So the pressure also the same, okay, since the height or the depth here is also the same, yeah. Okay, and then measuring pressure, yeah. This objective, he described how a barometer can measure atmospheric pressure and describe how an open tube manometer can measure the gauge pressure of a gas. Yeah. Okay, this one is manometers, pressure versus fluid height. Yeah. So this one is mercury barometers, and the height difference between the air mercury interface and the mercury level is H. Okay, so this one level 1. And then uh, the pressure here is 0, and then this one is H. So we can calculate what is the P0 here. The P0 here is equal to rho GH. Rho G times the depth or the height of this one. Okay. So this one is application to manometers. Pressure versus fluid height. We can calculate the pressure at this one by the height of the fluid. Okay. Okay, only the height matters, not to the cross-sectional area. Height of mercury column is numerically equal to Torr pressure. Only if barometer is at a place where G has a standard value and temperature of mercury is 0 degrees Celsius. Yeah. Okay, and then measure height difference versus gauge pressure. The height difference between the two interface is relative to the gauge pressure, rho gauge. The gauge pressure can be positive or negative depending on whether the pressure being measured is greater or less than atmospheric pressure. And then open tube manometer graphics, we see this one is the pressure of gas, and we can calculate the pressure. This one is equal to uh, P0 plus rho GH, right? So this one is P0 plus rho GH. So in this case, if we set that, for example, this one y1 is equal to 0, and then y2 is equal to minus h. Yeah. This one is P2 is equal to P, and then so the P pressure of gas will be P minus P0. Yeah. Okay. So in this case, P minus P0 is equal to rho GH. Yeah. Okay. This one is PG is equal to rho GH. Yeah. And then Pascal principle. So we need to identify Pascal principle. And for a hydraulic lift, apply the relationship between the input area and displacement and the output area and displacement. Okay, so the Pascal principle statement, Pascal principle governs the transmission of pressure through an incompressible fluid. The change in the pressure applied to an enclosed incompressible fluid is transmitted undiminished to every portion of the fluid and to the walls of its container. Okay, you can see by this one, yeah. This one is liquid, and then there is a piston and weight of external force. Yeah. So one is the external pressure. So we can describe the hydraulic lever. Yeah. Input and output force related by it means that F, the force at input divided to area input, will be equal to force output divided to area output. F. So we can calculate F output equal to Fi times A to A input. So index I equal it means that input and then O it's output. Yeah. Okay. And then the distance of movement are related by this dO is equal to di AI divided to AO. Yeah. What is dO and di? This one is distance of movement. Okay. Okay, this one I mean input force and then area input, and this one is output force and output area. Yeah. So di and dO, di is the displacement of this one, and dO is this one. Okay. Yeah, for example, this one is oil, oil as the fluid. Okay, any questions about Pascal principle? Then Archimedes principle. So our objective is to describe Archimedes principle, apply the relationship between the buoyant force on a body and the mass of the fluid displaced by the body. For a floating body, relate to buoyant force to the gravitational force. And distinguish between apparent weight and actual weight. Calculate the apparent weight of a body that is fully or partially submerged. Okay. So the buoyant force definition, the buoyant force is the net upward force on a submerged object by the fluid in which it is submerged. Yeah. This force opposes the weight of the object, and it comes from the increase in pressure with depth. It means that if the depth is uh, larger or higher, it will more pressure. Okay, so the buoyant force is due to the pressure of the surrounding water. We can imagine in this picture, in this figure. So if we have object here and there is another pressure, yeah, by surrounding water. And then the net force is downward. So the stone accelerates downwards. For example, we have stone. But if the net force is upward, so the woods accelerates upwards. We know that stone and woods, yeah, stone will be downwards since the weight and the mass density is higher than wood, for example. Wood is relatively light, and then they will be upwards. Okay. So this one is the buoyant force. And then what is the Archimedes principle statement? In this case, there are two cases, for example, stone and wood. Yeah. So the stone and piece of wood displace the water that would otherwise occupy the space. Archimedes' principle states that when a body is fully or partially submerged in a fluid, so a buoyant force surrounding fluid acts on the body. The force is directed to upward and has a magnitude equal to the weight mfg. Yeah, mfg is the weight of fluids, the weight of the fluids that has been displaced by the body. Yeah. So the buoyant force has magnitude Fb equal to mf times g. Mf is the mass of displaced fluid. Yeah, the mass of displaced fluid. Then we can imagine maybe can write in our school before maybe if we want to measure what is the volume of an object, yeah, we can use water, right? So we can use uh, water here, for example. We put object, and then there is water come out. So we can measure this one. The volume is the volume of the pressure. It means that this volume is the same. PV and PF. PV is equal to the volume of the equation. Yeah, this one, the fluid that has been displaced by the body. So if we put like stone or another object here, there is a fluid that has been displaced by the object. So MF is the mass of displaced fluid. So the mass of displaced fluid can measure what is the mass by rho of fluid times PF. PF, or sometimes we use PVF. PVF means that is the volume of object, the volume of the object. Yeah. On the fluid. Why? Since we can maybe the object fully or partially submerged. If the object full submerged to the fluid, it means that the volume of the object is equal to PVF. But if the object is not fully submerged, it means that only partial portion of the object inside the fluid. So this one is the equilibrium condition for floating. A block is of wood is static, equilibrium is floating. When a body floats in a fluid, so the magnitudes Fb of the buoyant force on the body is equal to the magnitudes Fg of the gravitational force on the body. Okay, floating, it means that, for example, you put wood, for example, into water. Yeah. So imagine this one is water. Okay, so the wood will be floating here. Okay. For example, this is wood. Yeah, so this condition is in equilibrium. Then the weight of fluids will be equal to the buoyant force. And weight is equal to Fg. Fg is gravitational force of the mass of fluid, for example, times weight. So by Newton's law, the first Newton's law, we see that the total force equal to zero. Yeah. So the force equal to zero, it means that buoyant force minus gravitational force equal to zero. So the buoyant force with the gravitational force is the same. This is what the condition when floating. Okay. So the gravitational force on floating body, it means that mass of fluid times g. Yeah. When a body floats in a fluid, the magnitude Fg of the gravitational force on the body is equal to the weight, mass of the fluid, g of the fluid that has been displaced by the body. Yeah. Okay. So it means we can see that the Fg is equal to the buoyant force, mass of fluids times g is equal to rho of fluids times volume body at fluids, yeah, times g. So VBF is volume of object on the fluids. Okay, any questions about Archimedes principle? Yeah. And then the apparent weight of immersed body. Yeah. The apparent weight of a body in fluid is related to the actual weight of the body by minus buoyant force. Minus buoyant force. So we can measure what is the apparent weight. Okay. So for example, if we have stone submerged into water, immersed into water, then imagine this one. Stone here, for example. So this one is Fg, right? Fg is the weight of stone, and then there is buoyant force. So we can calculate the apparent weight. This one is the normal force, or y prime. Y prime is not real weight, but it's Fg minus Fb. Fg is the weight, and then Fb is buoyant force. This one is the actual weight, mass times g minus mass of weight times g. Can calculate this weight equation. Okay. Any questions? Then we continue to the equation of continuity. So our objective is describe the steady flow, incompressible flow, non-viscous flow, and irrotational flow. Explain the term streamline. Apply the equation of continuity to related the cross-sectional area and flow speed at one point in a tube to those quantities. Identify and calculate volume flow rates, and identify the calculate mass flow rates. Okay, so for the fluid motion, motion in real fluids is complicated and poorly understood. It means that there is turbulence. But in this course, in this physics mechanism course, we focus on ideal fluids, yeah, only for ideal fluids. Maybe if you want to study more or more detail about phase fluids, you need to take another course. I think fluid mechanics maybe yeah, physics mechanics course, yeah, specify what fluids and fluid mechanics or sometimes aerodynamics, that also from. But in this course, is only focused to ideal fluids. Yeah. So the ideal fluids, there are some points. The first characteristic is steady flow. Yeah. Steady flow, it means the velocity of the moving fluid at any fixed point does not change with time. Yeah. And then incompressible flow, yeah, the ideal fluid density has the constant uniform value and non-viscous flow. Yeah. Viscosity is roughly resistance to flow, fluid analog to friction, and no resistive force. And irrotational flow. Okay, this one is visualize fluid flow by adding a tracer. Streamline, velocity is tangent of streamline, so they can never intersect. This one is the fluid element. This one is the streamline characteristic. And then the equation of continuity, the fluid speed depends on cross-sectional area. Because of incompressibility, the flow rate through any cross-section must be constant. Yeah. Okay, this one is the equation of continuity. Yeah. And we can calculate the velocity. Yeah. It means that larger area, the speed will be lower. Yeah, will be slower. But smaller area, the speed will be higher. Okay, this one is the equation of continuity. Yeah. Why this one happened? Because the total mass in the whole around also the same. So, for example, if we can satisfy. Okay, you can imagine one. Okay, for example, there is the input volume. Input. Then the volume output. Input and output will be the same, yeah. As volume. And we define time, because we know that by calculating volume for cylinder, cylindrical object, it means that A times I U. A times di divided by D is equal to A U divided by T. So displacement divided by time is speed, right? Velocity. So this one becomes A input, A output, AI, VI equal to A output, V output. Okay, so that's we call this one is position 1 and position 2. So we can write this one is A1, V1 equal to A2 times V2. Okay, this one is the equation of continuity. But the requirement for equation of continuity is the same mass density. Yeah, it means that for one equal to so the mass density input will be the same as the mass density output. and it's happened to ideal fluids. Yeah, happen to ideal fluids. Okay. So we can rewrite the equation as RV. It means that A times V is a constant. RV is the volume flow rate of the fluid or volume passing a point per unit time. So if the fluid density is uniform, we can multiply by the density to get the mass flow rate. Yeah. Okay. And then Bernoulli's equation. Basically, the Bernoulli's equation is come from the conservation of energy. Okay. Mechanical energy. Remember that mechanical energy actually there are two energy, kinetic and potential energy. So we can calculate the kinetic energy density in terms of a fluid's density and flow speed. Yeah. Identify the fluid pressure as being a type of energy density and calculate the gravitational potential energy density. Apply Bernoulli's equation to write the total energy density at one point on a streamline to the value at another point, and identify that Bernoulli's equation is a statement of the conservation of energy. Okay, basically the mechanical energy, ME, this one is the total of kinetic energy plus potential energy, right? Yeah, remember that kinetic energy, basically this one is half mass v square plus mgh. But this one is the energy density, so we can divide to volume. Can divide to volume. So this one is mechanical energy divided to volume. Then we can add another term here, okay, as a pressure. Okay. So energy is equal to work, right? Energy and work is in the same dimension. Okay. So work is pressure times volume. Okay. If we can divide the volume, so this one plus pressure. Okay, that's why in this term there is pressure and pressure. So term in the right sense, this one is pressure. So is the total pressure also correction. Okay, half rho v square is called the fluid's kinetic energy density. Half rho v square. So in this case, the figure P1, then Y1. Y1 is equal to the rate of solution. Then P2 and Y2. Okay, so we can write the general form of Bernoulli's equation. P plus half rho v square plus rho dy is the constant. So it's Bernoulli's equation or equation. But for horizontal pipe, for the horizontal pipe, we need the same shape. So we can cancel the y here, right? P1 plus half of P square. P1 square is equal to P2 plus half rho V2 squared. This one is Bernoulli's equation. Okay, any questions? So in this chapter, we can take the summary that the first is rho is mass divided to volume, yeah. And then pressure is force divided to the area, and pressure variation with height and depth. Uh, Buoyant force, this one is the Archimedes principle, and then fluid motion and Bernoulli's equation, yeah. Continuity equation and Bernoulli's equation. Okay, yeah. Okay, yeah. And then we'll try to do some exercise or example of problems. Okay, in this case, there is a open tube manometer. It's a simple instrument for measuring the pressure of gas or liquids in a container. Consists of a flexible tube filled with a dense liquid, usually mercury. One end is open to the atmosphere, while the other end is exposed to a container filled with, for example, a hot gas at pressure P. So the mercury on the two sides of the tube is a different heights. And then find an expression for the pressure P in terms of the density of mercury and the height difference. It's 1 minus H2. Yeah. Okay, so we can apply for problem A. We know that P is equal to PA or P0. Yeah. P0 plus rho GH, right? So rho GH is equal to the difference of pressure. Okay, in the left side, here is pressure P. This one is the general form. In the left side here, we know that the pressure of hot gas plus rho GH2, it is equal to the pressure at right side. Yeah, this one is PA plus rho GH1. Okay, and then we can move the pressure. Here is PA plus rho G H1 minus H2. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So this one is the expression for problem A. Yeah. We know that this one is total pressure. Total pressure. And this one is atmosphere pressure. Yeah. And this one is the gauge pressure. Okay, then for the second problem, if H1 minus H2 is 85 centimeter, find the gauge pressure of the gas. Yeah. So by this equation, we know that P minus PA is the gauge pressure. write as for problem B, yeah, the gauge pressure is P minus PA is rho G H1 minus H2, right? We see that H1 minus H2 is 85 centimeter, and rho here is the mass density of mercury, yeah? The mass density of mercury, since the fluid is mercury here. So the mass density of mercury is around 13.6, yeah, 13.6 times 10 power 3, and then G is the gravitational acceleration. This one is 9.8, yeah, times 0.85, right? We can convert the 85 centimeter to meters. So this one is 0.85, yeah, or 85 times 10 minus 2. Okay, we can calculate this one, and the final answer for the P gauge is 113 or 113 times 10 power 3 Pascal. So this one is the case of open tube manometer. Okay, any questions for this problem? Yeah. Okay, and then the second problem, a pressure gauge that's measured by the pressure of the atmosphere itself is called a barometer. A simple mercury barometer, shown in this figure, a tall cylindrical tube open on the one end is first filled with mercury. It is then carefully inserted into an open container of mercury and is supported by a stand with a clamp. The mercury starts to come out the tube but comes to equilibrium at some height h above the mercury surface in the container. The space above the mercury in a vacuum filled only with low pressure mercury vapor. Okay, it means that this one equal to 0, right? Find the atmospheric pressure PA in terms of the height h. Okay, so we can calculate for point A by the formula of PA. Okay, is equal to rho GH. Okay, remember again about this case, right? Yeah, so we can calculate for open barometer. Yeah. Okay, and then determine the height h when the atmospheric pressure PA has its normal value of 1.013 times 10 power 5 Pascal. So it means that this one, PA equal to rho GH. This one is 1.013 times 10 power 5. Okay, so the mass density of mercury is 13.6 times 10 power 3 times 9.8 H. Okay, so we can calculate H here by dividing this one, 1.013 times 10 power 5 divide to 13.6 times 10 power 3 9.8. Okay, so the value is around 0.776 meters. Yeah. This one is equal to 76 centimeter, right? So the height of mercury here it is 76 centimeter. Okay, any questions about the barometer? Yeah. Okay, and then another example is about Archimedes principle. An iron ball of mass 10 kilograms is submerged in a container of liquid X by means of a quartz tension T. Newtons, find the buoyant force B, and then the density of the liquid, dx. Okay. Yeah, you can try first. This case, by using the. Yeah. Okay. Please try this one first. Yeah. Okay, let's see this problem. Yeah. So the iron ball of mass M, 10 kilograms. Yeah. And then the buoyant force B acting on the ball. Yeah. So we can calculate by Newton's first law, right? So by Newton's first law, we say that the total force in the equilibrium states, it means equal to zero. Yeah. So what is the force here? The first is tension, right? Tension plus buoyant force minus the weight of the ball equal to zero. Yeah. So we can calculate the buoyant force B by W minus T. So B, the weight is mass times G minus T, right? So the mass of the ball is 10 kilograms. You can see this one is 10 times gravity, 9.8 minus the tension is 65. Yeah. Okay, so this one is 98 minus 65 equal to 33, right? 33 newtons. Yeah. So the 33 newtons is the buoyant force. Yeah. And then the density of the liquid, dx. This one is the answer for point A. And then problem B, yeah. Okay, we know that the buoyant force of FB equal to rho of fluids times volume, the body at inside the fluids, and gravity, right? So we can calculate this one is the buoyant force. The density of fluid is dx, the volume. Yeah. So we need to measure the volume, right? Okay, the volume inside submerged in the fluid and times G. So the X becomes B divided to VBF times G. Yeah. But we need to calculate the volume first. Yeah. Since this one is iron, yeah. So we need to understand what is the density of iron. Yeah. So the density of iron is 7.86 times 10 power 3. Yeah. So this one is the density of iron or the object, yeah. Kilograms per meter cubic. Okay. Okay, this one is density of iron. Yeah. So we can calculate the PBF first. The density of the object is the mass of object divided to volume of object. So the volume of object is the mass divided to rho O. Okay. So the mass is 10 kilograms divided to 7.86 times 10 power 3. Yeah. So it becomes 0.00127 meter cubic. Yeah. So this one is the volume of object. Since all of the volume of objects submerged into water, submerged into the fluid. Yeah. So the objects is equal to PVF. Okay, then we can calculate the dx. Dx is the buoyant force divided of PVF times G. Yeah. The buoyant force before is 33 newtons divided to VBF 0.00127 times 9.8. Yeah. Okay, so the density of fluids is around to 2,651.8 kilograms meter cubic. Yeah. This one is dx. Dx equal to rho of fluids. Yeah. Density of fluids. Yeah. Or liquid. Hmm. Okay, then a rectangular block of ice of cross-sectional area A and depth H floats at the interface of oil and water. Find the fraction of the ice that is in the water. Yeah. Okay, so in this case, we can say that total force equal to zero. Yeah. So the total force equal to zero. Then the weights minus the buoyant force of water minus the buoyant force of oil, yeah, oil and water equal to zero. Yeah. So we can say that the weight of uh, the rectangular block ice is equal to buoyant force of water plus buoyant force of oil. Means that the rho ice times the area A and H times G equal to the rho of water A, and this one is X, yeah, and G plus rho of oil times A, this one is H minus X, yeah, times G. So we can eliminate A and G, yeah. So we'll get that rho of ice equal to rho of water times H divided to H, rho of oil, H minus H divided to H. Yeah. Okay, So we can write here row of ice, row of water, X, and then row of oil minus row of oil, X divided to H. Okay, you can write more simple. Row of ice, we can move row of oil here. Row of oil plus this one is X divided to H. Row of water minus row of oil. So the question is find the fraction of the ice that is in the water. Yeah. Okay. It means that X divided to H row ice minus row oil divided to row of water minus row of oil. Okay, this one is the fraction of ice in water. Okay. So this one is row of oil, row of ice, and row of water. Row of ice is this one is 917 kilograms per meter cubic, and then row of oil is 800 kilograms meter cubic, and row of water is 1000 kilograms meter cubic. Yeah. So we can calculate this one. Row of ice 917 minus 800, 1000 minus 800. Yeah. Okay, this one is equal to 0.58. 0.58 or near to 0.6. Yeah. So one is the fraction. Yeah. Okay, any questions about Archimedes principle? And then water flows through a pipe system of a variable cross-section in figure 14.3. Assume that water completely fills all sections of the pipe and the flow is if V1 is 0.8 feet per second and V2 and find V2 and V3. Yeah. So we can calculate by continuity equation. What volume in cubic feet pass through a cross section of the pipe each second? Okay. Yeah. So for point A, can calculate by this one is A1 V1. So V1 is 0.8 feet per second, right? So we need to calculate V2 here and then V3. Okay, so by the continued equation, we can say that for point A, A1 V1 is equal to A2 V2. Yeah. So we can calculate V2, A1 V1 divided to A2. This one becomes 12 times 0.8 divided to A2. A2 is 1.5. Okay. Okay, so becomes 6.4 feet per second. So one is the speed at point 2. And then in the same in the same formula, we can say that A1 V1, A3 V3. Yeah. So we can calculate V.3. A1 V1 divided to A3. This one is 12 times 0.8 divided to the area of 3 is 4. Yeah. 4 inches square. Yeah. So this one is 4. This one becomes 2.4 feet per second. Okay. And then what volume in cubic feet pass through a cross section in the pipe each second? Okay, we can calculate by the volume. Yeah, the volume is A1 V1 times delta T. Okay. Okay, we can calculate by this one. Yeah. And then for point C, how many pounds of water pass through a cross section per second? We can calculate by mass divided to delta T. This one is rho delta V divided to delta T. Okay. This one is for point C. Can calculate. This one is delta T-nya. Delta T is 1 second, right? If the same pipe went to bend like this figure, with the same value of V1, how will the result of part A change? So there is no change when the pipe is bent here. So V2 and V3 is the same as the problem A. Yeah. So the answer for D is the same. Yeah. Same at problem A. There is no change value of V1, V2, and V3. Okay, and then we show a section of horizontal pipe with water flowing through it. If the speed of water is 0.1 V1 2 meter per second, find the velocity V2 at 0.2. Okay, if the pressure of the fluid 0.1 is 2 times 10 power 5 Pascal, find the pressure V2 at 0.2. So we can calculate for point A. This one is continue the equation, right? So the answer for point A, A1 V1 equal to A2 V. So this one can calculate V2 is equal to A1 V1 divided to A2. Okay. Okay, so A1 is 12 centimeter square. V1 is 2 meter per second. A2 is 2 centimeter square, right? So V2 becomes 12 meter per second. Yeah, this one is continue the equation. Yeah. Then calculate the pressure 2 at point 2. Okay, we can apply the Bernoulli equation. Yeah. Can apply the Bernoulli equation. So the Bernoulli equation is P plus rho G H plus half rho V square is constant, right? Okay, so here P1, yeah, rho GH1 plus half rho V1 square is equal to P2 plus rho GH2 plus half rho V2 square. Since the height is the same, we can set that H1 is equal to H2. Yeah. So we can cancel this one. Then we will calculate the pressure at point 2, means that P2, P1 plus half rho P1 square minus V2 square. Okay. Okay, P1 is 2 times 10 power 5. 2 times 10 power 5 plus half 10 power 3. P1 square is 2 square is 4, and then minus 12 square, 144, right? So this one becomes 2 times 10 power 5. This one minus 70 times 10 power 3, or 0.7 times 10 power 5. So the pressure becomes 1.3 times 10 power 5 Newton per meter square, or Pascal. Yeah. Okay. Any questions about Bernoulli equation? Okay. If no questions, I will uh, maybe you can try this one. Yeah. Haksa Mukala there. Yeah. Okay, you can try this one. Yeah. In front of the class. Yeah. Can you can write in here. Yeah. Uh, and then for the next questions is, okay, maybe you can take the photo first for this one. Yeah. Take the photo and try in front of the class. Yeah. After this. And then second, the next questions. Siti Rahma there. Uh, there. Yeah. Any people? Siti Rahma? Oh yeah. Okay. Okay. Maybe you can try this one. Yeah. And then the next is Gabriel Bagas. There. Yeah. Gabriel Bagas, which one? Uh, uh, this one. Yeah. Okay. Marvelino Saladin Irawan. Yeah. There. Okay. We can try this one. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And then Anggira Najla Susanto. There. Yeah. Huh? Yeah. Then Gita Sarlis Rehana. Yeah. Okay. You can try this one. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Maybe can start from this one. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Please try in front of the class. Yeah. Maybe you can apply knowledge equation. Yeah. Okay. I will take the present attendance list. Yeah. Todi Putra Muharto. No. Yasvin Muafa. Yeah. Arafa Hilmi. There. No. Pasca Rahmat Bisuk. Yeah. Huh? This one? Huh? Oh, Arafa Hilmi. Oh, no. Fahrezi Farhan. Yeah. Yes. Huh? Uh, no, this attendance list. Yeah. Yeah. Muhammad Chandra Hanif, Fardan, Muhammad Rafiansyah, Safira, Safira Deina Zabian, no. Nalulingga Mardika, Muhammad Isfak Sujatmiko, ya. Adrian Rafli Kurniawan, no. Muhammad Fatan Firdaus, no, right. Victoria Anjanet Wijaya, ya. Harvey Egan Philip, ya. Stanislaus Davon Edison, ya. Nicholas Null Isaac Newton, Rahendra Mulia Amerto, Gafra Farel Umara, ya. Alifa Farsa Ihsan, ya. Reza Aulianisya, ya. Alivio Fadil Rosadi, Aksa Mukala, oke. Oke, Muhammad Azmi Adila. Alright. Zafira Putri, ya. Muhammad Faisal Lubis, Muhammad Faril Al-Aqil, ya. Kaisan Seno Akbar, ya. Muhammad Fatian Hartono, no. Gabriel Bagas, ya. Akhtar Ahwan, no. Anggiran Najla, Muhammad Zarif Saleh, Ansika Maiza Putri. Hah? No. Zalfa Safira, ya. Marvelino Saladin, ya. Najwan Muhammad Abdullah, Testa Kirana, Kela Salsabila, oh, ya. Christian Amadeo, Anissa Triandini, ya. Gita Sarlis Raihana, ya. Erika Munardi, Rakian Karim Johar, Bima Kusuma, ya. Reswan Arkan, ya. Kevin Kana Fauzi, ya. Kayla Ayu Salsabila, ya. Brian Sultana, ya. Marsha Kemila Oscar, izin. Sasha Yasmina, ya. Siti Rahma, ya. Ayla Zebrina, Prabu Abimara, Ahmad Andri Kausar, ya. Arkan Prastawa, Arkan Haidar, Arfan Ali Tolib, Aferi Klaus, Aska Nazika Putri Haryadi. Thank you. Okay, so this one for a number, this problem, yeah. Okay, so we can calculate the velocity, and then by distribution, G times h1 minus h2, and then we can put the h1, it's 1.5, Exclusion 0.4. So the first is 4.69. Yeah. Yeah. And then horizontal distance, calculate the time first, times of water outside, and then calculate by distance is 3 times t. Yeah. This one is linear or straight line. 1.3. So the answer is right. Yeah, right. Okay. Any question for this one? Yeah. Okay, so we move to next questions. Gita Sarnis, yeah. Okay, this one. This one is for your question. Problem. Yeah. Siti Rahma, ya. Ya. Oke. Satu lagi siapa lagi? Gabriel, ya. Gabriel. Hah? Oh, this one. So, who do this one? Ya. Apa sih? Nggak kedengaran di belakang. Oh, Avery itu. Siapa? Avery, Avery. Avery, ya. Avery. Oh, Avery, ya. Oke, ya. 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 Oh, ya. Ya.
Sorry, Mr. I
Yeah.
was going to toilet.
Oh.
Pas absen.
Oh, ya. This one? Arkan. Oh. Atalia.
AHTAF.
Oh, sorry. So, this one. Arkan, I don't know.
Akan apa? Kok nggak ada? Ah, itu.
No, after Aqua.
Yes.
Okay.
Ya,
Ini juga belum. This one? Ini juga belum. Oh, namanya?
Adrian.
Adrian. Adrian. Adrian Raffi ya? Raffi ya? Iya.
Di absen.
Ya, enggak. Araf Hilmi.
Ya.
Oh ya.
Oke, Pak.
Yes. Ya, which one?
Angira Najwa Shihab.
Angira. Oh ya. Oh ya. Oke. Ya. Okay, next. Who do this one? Siti Rahma. Sorry. Gita Sarlis. Yeah. And then what is this one? Oh. 14, 12. Ya. Tadi ini siapa ya? Lupa ya. Okay, I take one. We'll do this one before I mention. Okay, we'll try. Gabriel? Yeah. Yeah, please try this one, please. Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Yeah. This one. This one is. Yeah. Okay, I think this one is right. Yeah. This one is correct. So. Okay, Gita Sarlis, can you come up here? Yeah. Okay. This one is correct, yeah. So I can erase this one. Okay. Yeah. Finish. All right, thank you. Okay, yeah, basically, for this one,
So the result is 16.2.
Okay.
Okay, this one is the correct answer. 16.8.
Thank you. Yeah, okay. So the answer is correct. And then you can calculate for point C, that is the upward force. Yeah. So the force is cancelled by P times A. Delta P times A can input this one, yeah, and then calculate with the area. This one is the formula for point C. Yeah. Okay, I think that's all our lecture today. Thank you for your coming. Yeah. We can continue next week. Yeah. Okay, thank you. Yeah. Yeah.